What's up guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for clicking on today's Beauty Babble video. I have a ton of new products to try out and lots to chat about, so get comfortable and let's get started. I've already applied my skincare and I'm going to move into doing some of my under eye concealing. If you guys watched my previous video, I've been really struggling with depression as of late. A lot of my health issues keep flaring up and it's caused me to just feel very debilitated and sad. Before we get into that, sorry, I'm using the new Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I believe it's new. I received it in PR a little while ago. But yeah, as I was saying, I've been struggling lately, and I filmed a video earlier today that I believe will go up before this video does, just kind of talking about trying to get out of the headspace of being depressed. It is an absolute monster, and some days I do well and some days I don't do well, and that's why you haven't really seen very much of me on here, is because lately I haven't been doing very well. Side note, this product is awesome. I don't know if you can tell, but it really brightened my under eye area. I have the light to medium shade. Anyway, cool product. I'm going to follow that up with a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape underneath. But yeah, anyway, I find it really hard to publicly share when I have been struggling. I feel comfortable reaching out to friends and family, but it's really hard to put yourself out there in such a vulnerable state on the internet, because this isn't the types of videos that I want to make. This isn't the type of thing that I want to put out into the world, but when it's such a prevalent thing in my everyday life, it becomes increasingly hard to move past, and I just feel like I have to address it. So here I am. I don't know if you guys watch Samantha Ravndal's videos, but if you don't, I will link it down below for you. But she recently did a video that really resonated with me, talking about depression and especially surrounding having a social media job. I think that it is a great watch. I really recommend you take a second to watch that video, as she very eloquently put how I think a lot of us feel. As amazing as it is to work for yourself, this is a very, very lonely job, and sometimes it's just really hard to get out of your head. And I think that she did a great job of kind of explaining how at least I feel on a day-to-day basis a lot of the time. So I really do recommend you guys check that video out. But yeah, I've really had to take a step back and focus on myself for the past couple of weeks. And I was actually reading in a book that was recommended to me called Mastering Your Mean Girl. It looks like this. I flagged the page because I wanted to read a little excerpt from it. But it just really related to, I guess, how I feel, and I think how a lot of people feel when it comes to being present in your life and attending to whatever you need in that present moment. Anyway, I'll read it. The fact is, there are times when my work requires more of me, like when I'm hunkered down to write this book, or I'm knee-deep in a speaking tour or launching a new online program. There are also times when my friends or family need me more, and everything else gets put to the side so I can show up fully for them. I believe it's all about being present and riding the waves of life. Sometimes one particular area will call for more energy and more love, and it's our job to be aware and tuned in, and that we can recognize it and act accordingly. It's all about being adaptable and less rigid. It just seems like sometimes I have to give myself into my work all the time, and I have to be the best version of myself, and I'm traveling and I'm representing myself with brands, or I'm doing kind of out of the normal things, not sitting at home and filming, and I'm having to be so switched on all the time. And when I do a lot of that in a row, I don't really get any downtime, and I get sick, for one, and for two, I mentally don't take care of myself in the way that I need to, and I need to have a bit of a routine. And especially with trying to travel, I just find that really, really difficult. I'm going to pop on some foundation. I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Original. It is in the color Fairly Light. I was sent this in PR and I really loved it, but the color was wrong, so I went into Sephora the other day and I purchased this one, so I am hoping that this color will be alright. But anyways, I feel so grateful and overwhelmed that I have the opportunity to travel and work with brands that I never in a million years dreamed to work with, and have all these opportunities and do all these things. But I get kind of to the point where I feel like I have to say yes because I know that this won't last. Like, this is such a small portion of my life, and I feel like I don't want to miss out on these opportunities because I won't have the opportunity to do these things for a long, long time. And it's just the truth. My life will change. The social media scape will change. Anything changes, right? And so I just kind of feel like if I don't take life by the reins right now and just jump in fully and do it, that I might not ever really get the chance to do so again. But then with that thought process, I almost exhaust myself doing too many things because I don't want to say no. So it's just a really weird in-between space where I just don't know how to balance it all the time. And especially with having, like, I try to film the exciting parts of my job or my life or this or that, but like what I think a lot of people watching YouTube videos forget is that any influencer's life isn't like that 24/7. The majority of the time you're at home, you're doing emails, or you're doing tedious, linking things on your computer, or you're editing, or you're running your business, or insert the blank. But the thing is that most of the time it's alone. It's just a really weird space to be in. I don't really know how else to explain it. I mean, things to do with my job is that much of why I feel sad or depressed, and it's not the whole story, and I don't obviously want to dive deep into every single reason of why I'm sad and this and that, but that is something that I'm willing to share, and that is something that, I don't know, food for thought. I think a lot of people just assume that anybody online that's posting these beautiful, amazing things should be happy all the time because they made it, or they have whatever people work towards. Just because people have things, or just because people have achieved things, doesn't mean that they're immune to depression. Like, it's just so wild. Sometimes I receive messages from people going, it's kind of comforting knowing that people in your position still get sad. And it really makes me think, because I've never really understood that. Just because someone seems to have it all doesn't mean that they can't be sad. It's not like a mutually exclusive thing that once you've made it, you automatically will forever be happy. That's just not how life works. Life is a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, there's happy days, there's sad days. And sometimes you just get stuck in a rut of unhappy, and you could have the most amazing, wonderful things and people and experiences in your life, but that doesn't always mean that you will be happy every single day. So I don't know, I really want to convey that everybody has problems, everybody has struggles. Don't assume that just because somebody seems to have their shit together online that the rest of their life is all ducks in a row, I'm going to put on some lip chap. I have the Bite Beauty Agave one in front of me. I really like this, but it's hard to apply. Like, I really have to reef on it to apply until it warms up. I'm also going to use another Bare Minerals product. This one actually did come in PR. It is their bronzer in Beige for Days. I'm using the MAC blush in Peaches. This is a really pretty one, although I think my favorite MAC blush would be the color Melba, although I don't know where the hell mine went, so I grabbed for Peaches today, but it's really pretty. For highlight, I'm going to use the Nars Man Ray collection. I love this one. I hauled it for you guys in the PR haul that I did over Christmas. This is such a pretty product. I really love Nars highlights though. I'm using the Urban Decay Kristen Leanne collaboration. This is such a beautiful little palette. I like the larger, more colorful palette as well, though I don't really wear colorful makeup that often, but the little tiny Daydream eyeshadow palette is stunning. The colors look like this. They're really great, kind of like everyday colors for me, and I'm currently using Daydream. I'm using the 1212 color out of the same palette, just in my crease. This is like a super basic makeup look today, but I am into super basic things. I'm using the Nars Velvet Shadow Stick in the color, doesn't seem to have a color name. It's like this really pretty silvery champagne-y color. So put that on my lid, and I'm going to take my blending brush with a little bit of the Subscribe color, and again go over top of the outer corner and just blend the edges with my blending brush. pop on a little bit of liner. I feel like that is one thing that I wish that I mastered throughout my YouTube years, is learning how to fucking do liner without messing up. Let's just go with this, and I think the lashes will save it. For my lashes, I'm using the much hyped up Bad Gal Bang Mascara. This is my first time trying this, though I received it a couple of weeks ago in PR. As soon as I opened it and like pumped some air into it. I know you're not supposed to do that with your mascaras, but I dislike Benefit mascaras until they've dried out a little bit. I find that the formula is just a bit too wet for my liking, and it clumps my lashes a little bit. It was the same kind of deal with the original Bad Gal Lash and the They're Real lashes. I hated the They're Real one until I tried an old tube, and then I was like, wait a second, I actually really like this, and it was because of changing the texture of the formula. So I like it when they're a little bit dried out, so maybe try your Benefit mascaras as they've dried out. But let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, that's wet still. I'm just gonna apply by like stroking it. I feel like if I wiggle it, it's gonna clump. Okay, granted, I haven't had it open for very long and it still feels like a super wet formula, but as of right now, I don't really think this formula does much for me. It just feels like it's just really heavy on my lashes. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really loving this. I like the brush, and I feel like I will like this formula once it dries out, but it's just too wet and too clumpy at this point. I'm gonna use my They're Real tinted primer to try and space these lashes out a little bit. It's definitely like a super black and super dense kind of mascara, so if you're looking for like a really heavier lash, then this might be for you, but I don't know, like, to me that's not really what I'm after in my lashes. Maybe on my bottom lashes, but not really on my top lashes. But we shall see once it dries out a little bit more. Whew. Interesting. I'm not going to attempt a second coat on these. I feel like that would just really clump, so we're just going to leave lashes as they are. I'm going to make sure that my under eye area is nice and smooth without any creases, and then I'm going to apply a little bit of the Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. Okay, for brows, I am not going to fully fill them in. I actually recently got them re-tattooed by Shaughnessy out in Langley. If you live in British Columbia and you can make it to Langley to go to her studio, you need to go. She's brilliant. Like, just look at these. They just make me so happy every day. Not having to deal with my brows is just wonderful. I will say though, there was one spot that didn't heal properly on me, and I'm missing a little tiny hair right there. So the next time I see her, I will get her to fill it in. But until then, I have to like fill in that one little tiny baby spot right there. But on top of my brows, I will brush them into place using the Benefit 3D Brow Tones. I wish that I had some Gimme Brow, because that is my go-to, but I think I ran out. I'm going to use a tiny bit of that Nars Man Ray Collection highlight on my inner corner. Just got a little bit of a pop going on. And for lips, I'm using my YSL Beauty Tatouage Matte Stain in color 11. I was wearing this in all of my Paris vlogs, and you guys kept asking what was on my lips. It was this. It is so beautiful. It is really like lightweight and kind of like a stain almost. I really like it, and as I showed you guys before, the applicator has a little doe foot that's slanted, so it's really easy. And it's such a pretty pink. Super pretty, and I like to just pat it in so that it just sinks in really nicely. And on top of that, I'm going to use a brand new YSL product that I was introduced to in Paris, and this is the YSL Volupte Color Balm, I believe it's called. It comes in 16 different shades. I believe it's launched in March, and it's just a really nice kind of glossy color. I'm gonna put that over top. It smells incredible, by the way. And this gives me a little bit of gloss and just lightens that lip just a tiny little bit. I'm gonna finish off my face using a couple of sprays of Max Fix Plus. Alright, this is my finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and that it resonated with some of you, or at least some of it resonated with some of you. I wanted to also say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to those of you who took the time to direct message me or leave a comment or just check in with me. I really appreciate that you are there and that I feel your support, and I hope that I am able to return that whenever I can, however I can, with the content that I create. It's absolutely incredible to me that we've created this community of positive and kind people that pick each other up when we fall, and I really encourage you to spread that to your everyday life. I know that a lot of you spread kindness and spread love on the internet, but remember to do that in your everyday life too, and to reach out to those who are having problems, and to not be afraid to speak up if you are having a struggle, because there is people out there that will lift you up, and you don't know who they are until you kind of reach out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again in a video very soon. Bye.